And see, Bill
Oh
got
yeah. Oh, he was doing like it was almost like a national tour of holding black men accountable and shit.
right, and he was doing a lot of slander towards the hip hop. Even, even even if you don't understand the music, you got enough money to see like, hey, our enemies are benefiting from this shit. A lot of these brothers is getting robbed with their contracts, so he could be able to get into that lane, get a studio, sign some of these brothers, and turn some of that, recycle some of that negative energy. You see what I'm saying? That's what money can do for you when you got oversight. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's what a lot of us, a lot of us got to get our, our mindset. We need to be recycling a lot of this energy. You know what I mean? Recycling a lot of shit. That's the gift we have. You feel me? Like when we say, I know good people who do bad things. Well, why are they doing bad things? You feel me?
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, it was kind of one of those things. It looked like it was something that might already been known, but the public wasn't told. It must have been a real hush hush thing, man.
You see? And nobody
Yeah,
ever
it dropped like some good news.
right. Nobody ever seen no shit like that before. Fucking get
Nah.
drug cases, not on no murder, but on some. I can't call it sexual assault because he ain't, you know what I mean? And like Boosie said, they was popping mollies back then.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Boosie was going in, man. That was funny, man.
But he was really guilty for sleeping with ugly white women. That's really his crime.
That's really what the violation was. It was pretty much stepping outside of the community, considering the fact that he's like the blackest. He's the epitome of what an African American is
Right.
and function. It's for his people, driven,
Right.
contributes regardless of his position or accolades. He's got longevity in the game. He had an untarnished history.
Right.
So it's like the ideal thing that black men are told to strive for is like something Bill Cosby would have represented, not even on the screen, but in real life.
Right.
Black wife.
Yep.
You know.
And he thought he could legitimize a corrupt system, or think they would include him in a position to get, you know what I mean? Not in power.
Yeah. So then you got so the conflict is what, that there's no alternative black infrastructure for black power to be seated in.
Mm-mm. No. That's what Edmund's supposed to speak on. Constants. Things constantly change, remain the same.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these. Look at the sports and entertainment. They're getting billions of dollars. There's 100,000, $100 million contracts, but you don't see not one, especially in football. Not one team owned. But then you got to like this. He did own. Look at the context of entertainment. Who was it really designed to entertain? Them.
White folks. Yeah. It's all about them.
So they should entertainment, right?
Mm-hmm.
He control the entertainment. You think we gonna get the same revenue? Why would we get the same? You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Well,
I mean, that works two ways, because there's that, since we don't have the structure to provide our own entertainment 100%, you got that side where we haven't done it, so we don't know what it looks like.
right.
And that's where it's also like, I dare you niggas to try. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yep.
Even I heard someone talk about the other day. I don't remember the source, but they were speaking how Tyler Perry has his own film studio and so forth, but he's still making films that don't empower black males in the black community. You know what I'm saying? It's still he's not reprogramming anything. He's actually continuing on the same conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
So then even with that power, you gonna intentionally not innovate. You can't take your people farther than where they've been then, you know?
Right.
So then it's still not about how much money you got.
Right. I had an argument with a sister over Tyler Perry. She was like, I love his movies. I was like, well, have you ever looked up the word Medea or media in Greek?
Okay.
He chose that name for a reason. You know? Anybody ever look up why he chose that? You know? I don't know too many, you know. And then let's look at the context. He's, he's dressed in drag, gospel singer. Huh?
Yo, I never heard nobody actually say that part. The gospel singer. You said gospel singing man dressed in drag, right?
Basically,
right.
He's mocking women, right? Anytime you see a man in drag, he's mocking women, right?
And to some extent, he's mocking Christianity too. You know,
mm-hmm.
And it's because of it's because of where he's placing it. The context in which he's placing it is like complete confusion when you consider, you know, the drag dressing,
mm-hmm.
the themes of the stories.
And he's promoting, and let's be real, he's dressed up as a grandma, a ratchet grandma.
Oh yeah, the ultimate ratchet grandma. It's funny because then you see that character play out, and you see women that actually one love his movies, but the two kind of embody the character that he's depicting. If they wasn't doing it already, they kind of go even harder.
Yep.
Oh, you're gonna be that kind of a threat, right?
Those, we got a long way to go, bro. You know what I mean? And the black families, you still have some, positive family structures and so forth, but for the most part, we divided, man.
Yeah, it's more like you ever see one of those places where they got people who are displaced?
Mm-hmm.
And so they might be from different regions, so they still segregate themselves within the damn refugee camps. So you got you got smaller camps of the same people, but only based on region are they different, you know. So they don't the same people still don't mix well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. There's no collective identity. That's been destroyed. It seems like it was an idea. You can go on a timeline in history and see where blacks had a collective identity and applied it outwardly, but then once that retreat occurred, what it came back out as isn't even like a fraction of what it really represented.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny when you was talking about things changing, things change, but the one constant still white supremacy. About to say, make a right, connect your mic. 1 second, family, having some technical difficulties with the brothers. Peace. I see you up there. Nah, I was saying the one constant's white supremacy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
You know who been going off lately, and I don't blame him?
Who?
Kwame Brown.
Yo, man, I listened to the brother the other day with Faison the other night, man. That brother, he's sharp as hell, man. He's pretty much down to earth. I appreciate his perspective.
Mm-hmm. What do you say? The go along and get along game.
Yeah, to go along, get along gang. It's funny. It seems like every week there's a set of issues to let you know who's the go along, get along gang and who's not.
Yep.
We saw that recently with sports, with the Scottie Pippen thing, speaking on racism in the league, right?
Right.
And they were talking about his mental state, questioning his mental state for saying that, like, as if a white man couldn't be conscious enough and have a level of racism in himself to say, well, I'm gonna make some money off these niggas.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind playing the role of leader because there's no better role for me to play amongst these niggas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether he played basketball before or not, him being a white man already puts him in the position he need to be to function as a racist without losing anything, because he's playing in a sport dominated by blacks. So blacks don't want to lead. They don't want to manage themselves. They don't want to coach themselves. That's more so of a new phenomenon. But when you think about how Phil Jackson's perceived publicly, he gets the Zen master, the enculturated white man who's adopted Eastern theology to make himself more human and shit. Oh, he's gained some higher level of human existence that most white men don't dare do. So he couldn't possibly be racist. That's the fucking Zen master.
Mm-hmm.
Well, regardless of what the fuck a cracker studied, he's still got it. It's in his blood.
Mm-hmm.
That's the religion. White supremacy is the religion. They could study and practice any fucking thing they want to study. We see that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But those things are used to kind of like the most racist white folks have a high tolerance for black people. This is one thing people don't realize. They don't really mind you. They prefer you not exist, but they know how to interact with you without you knowing, how they personally feel and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
So he'd be a perfect example of that for Scottie Pippen, who, on the flip side, appears to be a very reserved brother. You feel what I'm saying? So he seems like the kind of brother. He seemed like the kind of brother might have observed the shit and not say nothing and just take mental note because he knows what he's looking at.
Mm-hmm.
This might not be the right time to say anything. My MJ and Phil is tight. I ain't trying to fuck up what we trying to do here, but I see these goddamn racist shit going on.
To remain he had a he was able to move and get a certain benefits, if you will. You see what I'm saying? Because he served. He didn't have most colored folks. You see what I'm saying?
Yep. Yeah, but I thought they was gonna do a Kanye on Scottie Pippen, man. He's mad. He's going mad. There's no proof of him going mad, but they're letting you know he's going mad before he even lets you know what his condition is. You know, they're going off of him speaking for himself. Oh shit, he's speaking for himself. This nigga's going fucking mad. Oh hell no.
And if he is going mad, he don't have a right to.
Yeah, absolutely.
These people are something else, bro. You feel me?
Yeah,
And
what are you doing going? What are you doing going mad from this madness, black man?
right. He made a valid point. If Michael Jordan was out and we get to who's the next person, why would you place a young rookie after all the hard work I done done? You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Why you gonna create a window opportunity for a rookie? That's you looking out for your people. That's racist. To deny one person, to deny the opposite race an opportunity, like and then provide one for your own people. That's racism in itself. Not I don't like black people. Nah. We work people all the time we don't like. I don't like such and such, but you have to work with them because you don't have the power.
Absolutely.
You have the power to say, you know what?
Not in some instances, not liking the motherfuckers more incentive for you to challenge yourself to at least get through the process of being around them. Shit.
Right. That's adulthood, right?
Yeah.
I don't like this person, and you know what? I'm finna put him on the bench, and I'm finna let this person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially when you see the system, but then it goes back to that, black people, a bunch of athletes can't win a championship unless they got a white coach.
White leadership. White leadership. Yeah, we made the plantation a sport on the back when it comes to playing on the field with white coaches leading black people. It's like the only time that black people, the slave and the master, are on agreeable terms is when the master's leading the slave and playing the game.
You see?
So you know what? I'll forget all this other shit.
And that's what it is, a game.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly what it is, a damn game. You see what I'm saying?
So it's like it's no different. Imagine on a plantation, master run out on no goddamn plantation, play double dutch every once in a while. Let the slaves feel like they all fucking one people and shit. That same shit with the basketball and the football. Motherfucking coaches don't play the sport. Master never work in the field. Same shit. So he ain't even qualified to tell you how to work in the fucking field. I don't know too many coaches that played in the NBA.
Don't Look, need to. All you doing is all you doing is managing.
You said it just what?
You just managing behavior. You don't need to play the sport.
Managing behavior. Yo, you know what's crazy? How about even with all the shit they try to do to normalize, make it all one? How many fights did the motherfucking basketball players almost get in with white fans spitting on them, throwing shit?
Yeah, too many. Even my
too
dad,
many, just like it was going back to back to back.
My dad told me that Bill Russell would always say he played for Celtics. He didn't play for Boston because the city of Boston was so goddamn racist. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Had his breath broken into. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the thing about shit. Massachusetts just had a situation with the white boy crashed the car, jump out looking for black people and shot and killed 2 black people.
You see?
Yeah, that's that northerner shit. He be working right next to him. He be having he be playing hip hop music and everything and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Hating niggas though. Remember, if a white person saying nigga, fuck, kill nigga in a song, he can actually play that shit out and not have no problem with it. He's not a nigga. That's the fuckery right there, right? But we don't. Yo, that's wild, right? It would be incentive for white folks to listen to rap music and be inspired to kill niggas, right?
Telling you. Then when you look at the current year that we've been living in, right? We've seen the second half of the homosexual legislation being pushed. I mean, Obama started it. And it looks like your boy Biden is finishing it, right?
You're trying to.
And I watched Kwame Brown spoke on some real ass shit about their BT Awards, right? And he said, we don't give a fuck if you gay. You gay, so what? But why are you pushing for young boys and girls to be homosexual? Because I said this way back then, Brother Claus, right? Believe it or
Yeah.
not, homosexuals don't like other homosexuals. I mean, they'll be around them, but they prefer turning motherfuckers out. You know, it's a when you talk to even Omar Johnson spoke on that. You know what I mean? When you look at especially
Umar.
males, when you look at when you look at, for example, talk to some of them, they all have a fucked up history sexually. Something happened to them at an early age, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're passing that shit on, prying on kids. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So we see now, and then like he said, like BET, why they not promoting heterosexual teenage love between a boy and a girl?
That's based upon that part is our fault in the context of BET being owned by Viacom. Is once he sold it to them, it went under the same pretenses as MTV programming. So it's not centered around black people on a back end. It's just called BET. Like they kept the name. They could have called that shit anything and just do the same shit they do on MTV and VH1 with just black folk. Not like black folks ain't on MTV and VH1 acting a fool or nothing, but
That let you know, like Kwame Brown, puppet. Because if it was just about you being gay, you would just be gay and that's it. But you sitting on the devil's lap, you promoting shoes with demonic blood in them. You are being used willingly,
he's playing the puppet role.
and we're divided.
Court jester.
We divided because let's be real, Brother Carl. The only people in the black community who have a strong, I'm not gonna say all, but the majority of the problem with it are heterosexual males and females, right?
Absolutely.
Black parents, right?
I would say mostly black. I would say mostly black parents.
And who's the number one defender of male homosexuality?
Yeah,
Black. Let's be real, brother. Sisters.
No, you're right.
I heard a mom, and she said she was more comfortable with her son being gay because at least he's not having kids, and at least he won't be in jail or dead.
At least he's not having kids, she said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's some crazy shit, man.
At least he won't end up dead or in jail, right? So to be successful, to be a black man, be successful in America, you have to compromise your manhood.
Mm-hmm.
That's what, right? Even when you got
so
the
you
right.
do you think it's natural for a black woman to be inclined to want her son to be a neutered black man for survival purposes?
In America,
yeah, absolutely.
Because of that secret.
I think it's more. I think that has to do more with like how our socializing, how we socialize our children, is directly connected to the society as a whole regarding women's child rearing. You know what I'm saying? So there's really not no intervention on that on behalf of the child. Mom's is gonna, shit. If you like red, she might get you more pink shit. In this day and age, she might be motivated to soften you up.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Because when you look at it,
but there's still that choice. There's still a choice.
The most dominant minority female or black woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Asked my sister a question. I said, when you be at work and there's an issue that the workers got a problem with, who do they pick to bring it about? She said they always run to me, right? Why? Because that sister has a gift where she can put that white man in place without any retribution, right?
Yeah. And there's a a social a class hierarchy. There's like they actually are like competitive based on their class position.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they was gonna use race, they could exclude race as a reason for it for her being able to do that.
She
Because
knows
her
him.
social, the way she functions in society still is as a higher member of society.
Yeah,
As
she
far as
knows him.
access, her access.
I mean, you remember Rosewood?
Yeah.
Remember when Big Mama went out there and tried to calm them down off the pretext that she knows them, most of those white men as children because she raised them, probably
She raised, yeah.
probably breastfed them, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when they shot her, even the whites was like, "What the fuck," right? And her son went the fuck off, right?
Yeah, that was it.
Didn't he hide his mama's casket?
Mm-hmm.
That movie showed you a lot of dynamics, right? How'd he get away? He was a Mason. He ran to Black Masons, remember?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Black Mason brother said he ain't no Black Mason. He one of us though.
But you what about yeah?
And that was the first motherfucker they went to, right? The first blacks that got hung in that movie were those Mason brothers that helped that cracker get out of Dodge. They beat that brother so quick and hung, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was a
Quick.
white, right? It was a white man. Man, they beat him. By the time they grabbed him and looked and he broke him up, he already had his eye was closed, jaw was swollen. You see? Then you look at the context a little further. Like I said, it's a secret relationship between between Big Mama and Massa. Feel me? She can facilitate. She knows the program. And then you look at it like this: who has the most potential to bring about change in this system? Black males, because they have the right. Even when you look at what would you define as an alpha male? He may, that's the black man.
You're right. The profile of an alpha male is a black man. Absolutely.
So it's really manhood. I mean, let's really be real. Let's look at Trump. Niggas can't blame Trump for everything that happened. He just got in office. That was his first political office, right? They thought they can control him, but let's be real. Who had a big problem with Trump? Women.
Yeah, that was it. That was his main opposition was women.
He was low key an alpha male. Look how he talked to those women reporters. You're an idiot. Shut up.
You don't know what you're talking about, right?
So women got him out of office.
He's the first guy publicly, white or black, that said that shit publicly on a multitude of times. You don't know what you're talking about. That would annoy somebody, especially a woman, thinking that she has a point to prove to him in his position,
I look how they fooled everybody, right? It was, remember George Floyd, right? Everybody was like, fuck the system. Police stations was getting burnt down. Remember that? Courthouses.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about that. Yeah.
People were saying destroy the system, right? And then you motherfuckers get, especially a lot of these entertainers that wasn't working, who got conscious for the first time, and all of them taking photo ops at, I marched, we're marching, I voted, taking pictures of them voting. They turned
conscious
around.
money.
Right. They turn around and vote for 2 presidential candidates who made their careers off the justice system. How you gonna say fuck the system? Right?
Yeah, and then actually helps and vote for the system. And you know
Some
it's funny, they haven't spoken to that. They're still avoiding that, and shit's still going on.
they right now look at this. Remember the Asians getting attacked? Why were
Say
Asians
that
getting
again.
attacked?
Oh yeah, the
Asians?
Asians attacked. Yeah,
Because
man, it was so random too. You couldn't tell if it was a blooper video, a lot of them shits or not,
well, let's
man.
be real. Why were they being attacked? They never say why. Because they were being blamed for bringing the coronavirus.
Yeah,
They don't.
that and
They
that
don't put
was
in that.
remember that early on. Early on, that was a big last year when it first started. Remember when all Asians just fucking disappeared?
Yep.
The Chinese places shut down and everything. He was like, "Yo, I can't get no fried chicken wing for French fry."
Huh? And
And then
President.
even after things started opening up, it took them some time to come back. And what's
Yeah.
funny about that is nobody was really saying nobody was reacting towards them outside of saying Chinese people uh you know got the shit. You feel what I'm saying?
And then we looking on TV. Remember how they was doing all the Africans that was in China?
Oh yeah, when they was trying to
They were beating them. They denied them
beating
hotel.
them up, quarantining them,
Huh?
separating them from Chinese people to acting like they had the shit. Come on, man, that was crazy, y'all.
So the news was supposed to say since the coronavirus, there's been an increase in Asian discrimination. See now it's the context, right?
Yep.
They just speaking on Asian violence as if it's random. With no, it's a reason for this, right?
Yeah, it
And
was
Trump,
it was specifically based on that, and that's why every
yep,
time every time Trump spoke on the source, people shrieked because they were like, "Ah, this isn't gonna be good."
he bring it right back to them, right?
Yep. He always brought it. He brought it back to them for a long period. He never stopped. But the context in which he was saying it stopped because again, like I said, you saw where they instantly stopped. Having the restaurants was like the first ones to shut down.
Mm-hmm. Even when he talked about, remember when he rose, when he extended uh, uh, unemployment, and he said we need to take care of our American people because it's not their fault, it's China's.
Yeah.
Gangster, gangster, right?
Yeah, he said it. He said it how it was.
Well, the Russians did this, the Russians did that. Let's keep it real. Russia and China are communist countries that share a border, right?
Yep.
Who is the mass producer and who got the rights of the
And how
patents?
about this? They share an invisible border.
Huh?
They share an invisible border.
So you can't be in bed with Russia and not China.
You can't.
How do you do that? And then you're giving a lot of credit to Russia. You mean to tell me the most sophisticated, the most wealthiest country in the world is being hacked? Our system is being hacked by second world communist countries, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you put in that context, then you got to hold somebody accountable, right?
Absolutely.
Shut the government down now. Now, I'm RBG. Don't get me twisted, right? But I was for Trump because they thought they could control him. I ain't never seen a news outlet. They spent so much time, white media, telling us that he was racist before we could even identify him, right?
Yo, how about this? They censored them. They
Huh?
were they periodically censored them on media outlets, the internet, banned them on.
Now, where's he
Yo,
from?
they was
Where's
putting him on. They was putting him in Facebook jail and shit like that, man.
where's he from? Where's he from?
He said, "Where he's from? New York."
New York. All people, all all New Yorkers are assholes.
He said, "They all what?"
Assholes. It's a lot of people in New York, right?
Oh yeah, man.
You gotta scream to get your tax. That's just a New York thing, right?
Yeah, New York is people living on top of each other as far as the city. Yeah.
Now, if he was from down south, right? They painted a right. Shut the government down twice before Corona, didn't he?
Yeah.
I don't know about you, brother Calls, but I was on vacation with pay during that shit.
I sure was too, pretty much.
And you know who he was attacking, right? Why did he shut the borders down? You thought he was trying to keep Mexicans because of human trafficking.
Yeah, yo, that was something. When it first came out, as far as the outbreak or whatever,
He couldn't say that
he got criticized for how he shut down the borders, but he
because
was just like, "Yo, I'm not letting nobody from nowhere in."
because of human trafficking.
Yeah,
Look what's going on. All those
the
displaced.
timing was perfect.
Look at all those displaced kids. How they get to that border? How they get displaced? They're not in America displaced. They're at the border displaced. Where their
At the
parents at?
border, this place. Yeah, you're right.
Kidnapped.
Thousands.
They were kidnapped by coyotes and brought finna come here and work as slaves in America. He shut that shit down.
Yeah, and so now what's crazy, as I heard today, you know, Biden is trying to. They got to process all of these kids and shit at the border. They're gonna integrate them into society to become workers, basically.
No, brother Cause. How did all these group of children make it to that border? How did they get there?
Somebody
No,
had to bring them. Yeah,
they're all kids, right?
all kids. Yep.
And to prove my point, right? We said earlier that I said earlier. I'm gonna take responsibility that homosexuals don't like they'll tolerate other homosexuals, but they prefer turning motherfuckers out. Fresh turnouts, right?
Yep.
The first people who got recognition when Biden got in power was who? The LBG, right?
Yep.
Right?
Absolutely.
Who are so that let you know what was really going on. Trump crossed the line when he stopped that human trafficking and started. Remember, you ever heard of Pizzagate?
Oh yeah.
Now, when you watch Pizzagate and when you see the beginning of 2020, you know what Trump did? He asked for the receipts for all the CEOs, and they all started resigning. The CEO from Harley Davidson stepped down. Bill Gates stepped down. Why are they stepping down? So that they can participate in the agenda without tying in the corporation or company, right? I'm
Yep.
going to step down so I can distance myself from that corporation and work on my agenda. Why is Bill Gates buying up all the food? Remember Codex Alimentarius? He who
Yep.
he who controls the food controls the world. A lot of shit's been going on, man. We ain't been paying attention, but look what Trump did. He shut down everything tied to kids. Remember? Did you watch the Epstein special?
Yep. On Netflix, right?
Yeah. Did you see like after when he moved to that island, how he had contracts with Disney, right? He look at who all was connected to him, corporation wise. It was the kid. Everything he shut down everything that was tied to kids, schools, right? Keep
Mm-hmm.
spend some time with your kids, right?
You're right. They did have a bust at Disney World and everything. You're right.
Huh? Hollywood got shut down, right? All the amusement parks, right? They shut down the bars and clubs, but mainly everything for kids was shut down. Feel me? You watched the Epstein special, didn't you?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
It take a billionaire to catch a billionaire, right? Trump was the first one to
Yeah,
cooperate,
you're right.
right?
Because he knows exactly he knows exactly the moves and the stops and the in
Right?
betweens.
Trump was the first one to cooperate. He said in the special, he said he's like me. He likes young women. He didn't say babies, right? Now, when you watch that special, He was in Palm Beach, right? And when you look at that special, you get to see in just how far the tunnel goes of evil, right? Because he was paying people to go to schools to recruit girls in junior high school on the pretext of giving them a massage, right? They even scheduled these young girls in the scheduled booklet, right? They said, "We not with this shit, bro." Palm Beach police didn't let it go. So he had to, right? When I watched that special, Brother Cause, I wanted to see how he got rich. Feel me? He was the Wolf of Wall Street, like Trump, right? He started off, he lied about his credentials, but he was good at what he did. So somebody took a chance on him. And eventually he got in bed with the motherfucking CEO owner of Victoria's Secret, right? Did you see that part?
Yeah,
And he was
that was
head
it.
of
That was his in. That was in his inside.
now imagine that's the perfect job for a pedophile, right? So now you know why when you was in New York looking at those billboards, those Victoria's Secret billboards, why they were predestined young girls in lingerie, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Blackmail this nigga, right? So this is my theory. This is my theory. When the Palm Beach police couldn't indict him, he had to go pull the strings for people who he got dirt on, right? So the director of the FBI came and told him to shut the shit down. Feel me? Now he's being indicted. Feel me? President Bush, I mean President ex-president Clinton's, right? He had dirt on everybody, I think, except for Trump.
Oh yeah,
Who
Hillary and Bill. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
he killed he it's alleged that this nigga committed suicide during President Trump's presidency. Am I right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It take a billionaire to catch one, right? If he had dirt on Trump, he wouldn't right? Even the Prince of England. Did you see that part?
Yeah, man, you right.
I never saw
They
that
have
girl
pictures
before.
of him with the girls.
I never saw that girl before in my life. She published the motherfucking photo. This nigga went to hiding. Trump took us off. He did, all Republican presidents don't respect the Queen of England. You know that, right?
Nah, they don't.
He took us off that watch list. He took us
Yeah,
off the
you know
W.
what's funny about that? They don't go. They don't go to Europe.
Feel me?
Real redneck. Not even redneck, but traditional Southern Republicans and shit.
Mm-hmm.
They're not like white Northerners. They're not going to fucking Britain and Germany and shit for vacation. They're gonna go to Disney World,
Yeah.
Busch Gardens. You know what I'm saying? They're going to Yellowstone. They're not interested in the European connection. You know what I'm saying? They see them as the British opposition.
Feel me? Because the Democratic Party is really for white minority groups, right?
Yep, white immigrant groups.
What's the Jew? Bloomingberg, ain't he a Jew?
Yeah, the the Jewish community are pretty much like the leaders of the democratic theology in America.
No
And they're like the leaders of the minorities, basically.
feel me? No president, brother Cause. No president in American history has ever won by mail-in ballot. No president. You watch Gangs of New York?
Yeah,
Remember corrupt Tammany Hall?
yeah,
How the North was losing, right? Boy, this is a history lesson. Abraham Lincoln hired what we would consider today to be a terrorist, right? The South was able to say fuck the Union and was still able to conduct commerce and business. Feel me? They were
yeah.
the bread.
Yeah, with the yeah,
They were still sending shit to England, right? They continued on, right? So this nigga Abraham Lincoln hired a terrorist who destroyed railroad tracks. Feel me? Who destroyed factories that was right, assaulted bays that was going, that collected all the material to be sent out out of the country. You feel me? And then
Yeah.
hired even in Gangs of New York they showed it. They were recruiting Irish immigrants, giving them promising them that they would get citizenship. They was coming off the boat from Ireland, putting on Union uniforms and going down south to fight. See, when you look at it in that context, when you look at, remember Ferguson, right? Remember that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Those police officers were descendants of the Irish who were fighting during the Civil War, who didn't go back. They had none, right? They stayed there. My dad said you could be Irish and you could be white, but you can't be both. So there's always been a discontent with white minorities, i.e. Irish. Feel me?
Yeah, man. That's something too. You saying that?
So when you
You won't
watch
know. I've even seen Irish people that dyed their red hair to keep from being identified. Pretty much, they weren't comfortable being observed based on them being Irish. It's like you're still white. You know what I'm saying?
So, and what are most Irish? What are most Irish? Catholics, right?
Yeah.
They thought they get protection from the Catholic Church. Why would an island next to England, because England is an island too, right? Convert from Protestant English Christianity. See how we make these connections, brother Carl?
Yeah, it's funny. It's just how you said they're both islands. In the scope of people's minds, these are large places. That's all. It's funny.
See, what's Trump's background? His ethnicity.
Oh, I don't know. What is it?
Either Scottish,
Catholic, is it?
or Irish.
Irish, yeah. Something.
Right?
That's what I would think.
So they got a discontent for the British, right? Even Farrakhan didn't have nothing bad to say about Trump. Farrakhan said Trump wants to be a king, right?
Yeah.
Why would he label it in the context of being a king? Because who does the king defend and protect? His people.
Mm-hmm.
Trump may have been a lot of things, but he put the American people first. He don't need the money. He's not doing this shit for the pay. Huh?
Nope.
First president to put down a number for reparations. $500 billion. I call it the Platinum Plan. And tell Ice Cube I'm willing to meet with meeting, right? Niggas turned on Ice Cube, brother Carls. I stopped following a lot of niggas, but niggas show their true colors. D.L. Hughley, right? He's not qualified to speak for black people. Cube has been making movies for the black community since, right? His second album was with Chuck D. Conscious. He's been conscious since, right? Gave you what that basketball lead is. Created jobs for retired basketball players who the league destroyed, right? He's not qualified to speak for black people. Did a movie about the Chicago shit. Remember that? That last barbershop in Chicago?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And donated the proceedings for Chicago, right? How the fuck Cube not qualified to speak for black people? He may be the best qualified nigga to speak for us. Huh? Talking about. Who would you say has been making the best movies for black people, bro? The classics.
Nah, you're right. And they're not destructive to black people's characters either, as far as the roles he's the movies and their themes. It's mostly comedic too. You feel me? Which ain't a bad thing, because that, in Hollywood that can go either way.
That's why I said it's a reason why D.L. Hughley said what he said. Oh, but it's because Ice Cube didn't recruit you for no movies? You're really not that funny. You would, you during that BET Comic View days, you would, I've been to a lot of comedy. I've been to, the coldest one I think I've been to was Andy, my boy. It's on tip of my tongue. The Eddie Griffin show. Who had the Eddie Griffin show?
Eddie Griffin.
Eddie Griffin, right?
Yeah.
And Eddie Griffin will be, have his own bottle on stage getting loaded, but he didn't write his material down, right?
Yeah.
DL usually would get drunk and just clown on people in the audience.
Yeah, it's funny. He always had that drunk, lisping, loose ass humor, and I prefer him as a host. I couldn't really stand him actually telling a shitload of jokes. That's just not my. He's not my kind of comedian.
Feel me?
Yeah,
Have
man.
you ever seen Theo Hughley in the Ice Cube film? Think about it. What would he play?
I'd have if I don't know. I'd have him play some sort of shoe salesman or something with a purple suit on or some shit.
Was he in Soul Plane? Remember Soul Plane? That got sabotaged?
I'm trying to think. That's what I'm saying. I can't imagine DL. I can't recall him in too many movies.
You ever seen Soul Plane?
Yeah, that's throwback.
Movie. Yeah. Or I don't know who produced that movie, but that was what put
everybody in it.
Everybody. Redman, Method Man, all the female comedians, right?
Yo, that's when what's funny. What's funny about that? That was a time where Black people socially were still kind of it was still internal. We were private in the 90s, community wise.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Wasn't too much visibility as to what niggas was doing in the day to day. That's just from my understanding. I was a teenager then, but how I observed it was like we were in our own bubble to some extent. We still had private owned forms of Black media then and so forth. So a lot of that stuff could have played into it where, the socialized functioning everyday process of Black folks is, again, the last bit of us being together.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I used to think back to the 80s as being that, but I could say that even though the 90s being the remnants of the 80s, the 80s kind of seemed like it shocked Black folks so much that we went into a fucking cocoon or something. Mm-hmm. And in the 2000s, after 9/11, we came out separated.
Now, didn't remember the UPN?
Yeah.
The UPN was a local network. I don't want to get my facts wrong, but I remember it had to be. I might be wrong. I think it was in LA because it was Moesha. All the Moesha sub shows was on there. Remember the UPN?
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Malcolm and Eddie, right?
Yeah.
You name it, right? And WB, right?
Mm-hmm.
You see, but
so to some extent, so another thing is this: the 90s was another Black Renaissance in the context of if you look at what it produced, that's still around now.
Yep.
I'm thinking of, and I'm not just talking about musically, but in media and art, period. Music, movies, literature, things like that.
Yep. Because what we see in Brother Cause is when you study history, right? This is my observation, right? People who are born in the later half of one century who go into another are great people. Feel me? That's why you saw a lot of greats being assassinated. Tupac, right? Tupac's based on the year he was born. He was projected to live into in the 2000s. Feel me? Biggie, mm-hmm. Right? Aaliyah, right?
Yeah, he would have been 50. They said or some shit like that, or 53. I don't know.
Now, you ever read The Miseducation of the Negro by Carter?
Oh yeah, Carter G. Woodson.
look when he was born. 1875 to 1950, bro. He saw a lot of
Yeah,
shit.
he saw a lot, man. It's
Huh?
almost like there was a. It's almost like there had to. You had to have people live that long to
And it's
transfer.
not, he's lived. Look when he was born. The later half of
Guess
one
what I'm
century.
saying? He was born like 20 years after slavery, almost.
Yep. 1865, 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years.
He saw the car come into existence, skyscrapers, the telephone, right? Elevators,
The airplane.
the airplane.
You seen it all,
Niggas wanted
yeah.
75, right? Infrastructure. God damn it. Niggas went from what was it called? When you send telemessage, what is that called? They were saying
Telegram.
telegrams, right? Morse code, nigga. He was 5 years old when the Conference of Berlin took place. He saw the Roaring 20s, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's going on right now? That's 100 years ago, right?
How about this? He lived through he was 10 years removed from slavery and still lived through the Depression.
Mm-hmm. And then, yeah. He saw 30 years after the Depression, right?
Yeah.
Me, 1982. Feel me?
All day,
So
82.
see, I'll hopefully, the answer just bless me. I'll, somewhere in the 2050s, 60s. If I'm, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, man. Shit, pending motherfucking man's advancements, you never fucking know what could fucking become a new standard within the next 50 to 60 years, man.
Feel me? Now, 2030. You been peeping this shit out? This plan to why I've been keeping up with this vaccine shit. Did you see the creator of the he didn't create the vaccine, but he created the RNA. Trust me. You been peeping this out?
Nah, talk to me.
They gave him a platform on YouTube, right? YouTube shut it down, right? He's the most qualified person to speak on this shit because he created the technology, right? And he said that he warned the FDA about the risks and they didn't care, right? The RNA that you're getting in that vaccine is producing proteins. What kind of protein, right? What kind of protein? And it's suppressing your immune system so that your immune system can't destroy it. And as they're coming up with other, not Pfizer's the first one, all these other people, these variants that they're coming out with, now they're lacing that RNA. That RNA, this is the first time in history, in medical history, that they've ever created a vaccine that's not really a vaccine, that has RNA, DNA. If anybody knows biology, Brother Ngozi would love this right here. Remember Ngozi from I'm Ross Squad?
Mm-hmm.
What is the function of RNA, DNA during transcription, right? What kind of protein is it creating? The protein that I've been taught is creating is really mass produced in forms that even if you didn't receive the vaccine, if you've been around someone who's received the vaccine, you've been exposed because they're producing not antibodies, proteins.
Proteins, yeah. And that's something I listened to earlier was centered around that. It was only supposed to be experimental. The idea was that they weren't supposed to do that shit, basically, with the funding they were provided, and they did it anyway.
Right. Now, there was a movie that came out right when the coronavirus hit, starring Vin Diesel. Did you see it?
That's the one where his body reacts. Yeah.
What did he have in his blood?
He had the nano
nanomites, right?
cells. Yep.
So now they have nanomites wrapped around RNA, DNA, and you've been hearing about magnetism, right? Now you see why they
Yeah,
push.
heavily.
Now you seeing why they pushing for 5G, and they said this. They said this that the nanomites and the RNA can be used as biomarkers. So now they can see your bio levels, your dreams, right? Your heart rate.
Yeah, you figure if someone's, let's say someone was trying to scan the area and pick up, it's almost like another level of tracking, you know?
Hmm?
It's another way of tracking someone.
But now you can, right? Now you can pull up everybody who's received the vaccine, right? Pull them up on 5G, right? And who's to say in the next 5 or 10 years that you can push a button that'll have the nanomites attack your immune system? Huh?
Yeah, trigger them inside your body. And then the thing is not know what the reaction is gonna be, but know there's gonna be one. So that way it'd be less of a possibility for you to diagnose it as one particular thing.
Now you remember when we had a show on Feet on the Ground a couple years ago about Coldus Alimentarius?
Oh yeah, what was going in?
And they brought up the issues in South Africa, right? And there was a big case, and one of they were able they were willing to give some of these scientists um uh what is it, immunity if they confessed and told what they were doing, right?
Oh, as far
All
as
of them,
trying to come up with the race-based gene, right?
right? All of
To,
them agreed except for one, right? They were trying to come up with ways to create death without being detected. Sur- Knives that act as syringes, right? That were able to
mm-hmm.
create postpartum without being detected, right?
Yeah.
Family for black people. When we win this war and we get a hold of the books of data from slavery and we look at every method they've tried to use to kill us, we're gonna be like, damn, but we still fucking here. We still here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he won't dare blow the planet up if he knew that one Negro, male or female, would survive. Feel me? Huh?
It's
He
true.
wants to
True indeed.
he's willing to wipe out his entire race only if he knew it would kill. Right? If he knew that it's a possibility that maybe two Negroes will live, let's reconsider. And other races that work under him envy that. They envy the attention that we get. Right? Why is he spending so much time on these Negroes? Right? They hate us because of the attention that they right. Because their job
Yeah,
really is.
no, they it's like they desire to be the apple of the white man's eye, man. Yeah. True indeed.
Let's look at right. Look at the prince marrying that the mulatto sister. Right? When you study there, the Moors did this. Right? Every couple centuries, they have to marry an African to preserve their bloodline because of genetic drift, recessive genes. Right? And what has he been doing since he's been married to that woman? Making babies. Right?
Oh yeah, she got knocked up. Then she just about to pop one out.
She on number 2, ain't it?
Yeah, she on number 2, man. He said, I gotta get this bloodline up.
Now, how many princes are there?
How
The
many
question:
princes are there?
the English princes are there?
I think it's him, his brother's son.
Who's projected to if she died? And remember, for some reason in English history, the queens outlived their husbands and their children.
Isn't that crazy?
Huh?
Yeah, well, she got a long way to go first. She gonna outlive her husband, but he's old enough. I mean, her son, he's old enough.
He old. One of them died, didn't he?
That was her consort.
None of her sons died.
Nah, I don't think so.
Who was married to Prince Diana? He still living?
Yeah, he's still living. He's still with Camilla Parker Bowles, I believe.
See?
See, I know my royal family, my cracker royal family now. Or what's left of it. Yo, it's crazy because the black community is kind of like the European royal family. You got motherfuckers trying to leave that shit like the young boy and date outside the fucking bloodline. You know, those are your spoilers.
You see?
You got motherfuckers trying to align with people who have a lesser cultural relevant marker in history compared to yours, right? Yeah, all that type of shit, man. And then you got people that are called traditionalists, right? When I look at them more so as preservationists, because if you don't maintain some level of tradition, you lose your culture.
Mm-hmm.
And if niggas haven't gotten to rebuilding their motherfucking culture before they actually get into standardizing practices, you won't have neither exist. You won't exist at all.
Feel me?
You in a political context, we have
Now,
it looks like we got less representation than we ever had. You know what I'm saying?
the best representation that we did have was from a white billionaire with no history in politics. Feel me?
Yeah, that's true indeed.
Right?
Yeah.
Look who he pardoned. Harry O.
Kodak. Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne, right? This is a politician who actually does what he says.
He does
Name
exactly what
something
the fuck he
Trump.
said.
Name something Trump said he wasn't gonna do, but and name something Trump said he would do, but didn't do. I'll wait.
At least he at least attempted. You're gonna say he didn't try.
Niggas thought when he said we closing the border down, right? Well, when he closed the border down, you thought he was talking about illegal immigrants. No, he's talking about the fluctuation of human trafficking, right? And
Yeah,
then
the sex
and then
trafficking, human trafficking,
and
man.
then they coming over here as sex slaves, and then able to benefit because in America, if you have your child here, you're American. He saw you got to change that. These aren't immigrants coming over here looking for change. These are kids. These are sex slaves.
Yeah.
And there's been a list of movies. End of Shift. If you ever watched that movie, Cold movie.
All types of movies. Yeah, man. There's been a lot of movies about this shit.
And they end up making a mistake. Thought it was some drugs, and they go and it's a fucking quarantine
trailer for the. Yeah. It's true.
Where are those babies' parents? How they get to that border by themselves? They kids.
Yeah, they thousands of kids. It's not. It ain't like it's not 100 it's not 122 kids or some shit. It's you could build a whole nation with them kids.
Thousands of displaced kids, not in America, at the border.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get to that border? Abandoned by coyotes, kidnapped in Mexico. Who feel me?
Yeah, then you got the other part too. They're still breeding too. They're still breeding people for the same purposes.
Feel me?
As far as having women have children to be exploited in their sex trade.
My nigga said it's a hoax.
What, the sex trade shit?
The virus, right? Remember?
Oh yeah, definitely.
And to prove his point, he said he had it, and it came back 2 days later, right?
Oh yeah,
but he didn't push for the vaccine, though. He didn't push for the vaccine.
You say what?
He didn't push for no vaccine.
Nah, he didn't. He wasn't gonna make it mandatory or nothing. He said he's gonna leave it to the option of the people.
Why? Because we don't know even what it is.
Yeah, you don't know what it is. He's like, hey, I will let people use their discernment. That wasn't the type of language he was utilizing.
And keep his
You
attention
take
on.
something, you take something away from people by not letting them choose, man. And that's where we're getting to, because supposedly we close to 70 to 80% of people in the country vaccinated, right?
That's bullshit.
I'm like, that's some bullshit. But I know a lot of black folks I see down here, they got the shit. They're not even worried about it.
No, because ain't nobody seen it. I haven't really seen it. Now I ain't gonna lie. I ended up catching I don't know what the fuck it was, allergies, but I couldn't smell or taste nothing. And I was like, that's the first time I've ever been sick where I couldn't smell or taste nothing, right? Right?
Yeah.
But I remembered that they even said it's not natural. Right? Meaning,
oh yeah, it's not naturally occurring in nature.
So it's synthetic. Can we agree on that?
Yeah, it is. Like, this is the thing. Supposedly they were dealing with some progressive medicines that had to do with, if you add a protein where you're not supposed to, this is what the fuck happens. It was biological warfare at the end of the day.
Now the common cold is natural, right?
Yeah, but what if you weaponize it? You know what I'm saying? And that's what they were saying. They're saying that they weaponize the fucking bird flu.
And
they weren't supposed to do the shit. So we'll see what's going on. I personally don't trust the jab, you know. I don't know, man. I can't rationalize doing that. And then the thing is, I'm seeing people who get it. They all got the same issues and symptoms, and their arms hurt.
Why are people standing in line? Right now, polio, smallpox, measles, the mumps, right?
Well, rubella, right?
Right. These are natural, right?
They're natural, but those are even rare in the context of affecting large groups of people in modern times. You know what I'm saying?
With the vaccines, I haven't never caught the mumps. You?
No, and I've never known anyone with them.
The measles?
Nah.
I heard that syphilis came from sheep.
Yeah, I heard that too. I heard it came from sex with sheep.
See? Now who's committing the most bestiality on the planet?
White man.
I read an article in Europe that was basically they're shutting down animal brothels, telling white men go home and make babies because they're an aging population. What's an aging population? That's when you have a population of people who have more adults than they have children.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Yo, that's crazy. You're speaking to that in the context of unnatural habits defeat a civilization in the long run, right? And so in that context, even we ourselves as a people are suffering the same thing, because like our numbers are going down supposedly as far as the per woman children per woman. It's like 1.4, 1.5 now.
Right. And that's political. They're like we've been there 22 million black people since the 60s. Huh?
Yeah, true indeed.
Malcolm, 22 million, right? It's an it. They'll never tell us the true numbers, but we know we're on the rise.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Most definitely.
And you know what's crazy?
Yeah, that was a question I saw was do we really think that there's less of us here than or more of us than what we're told, right?
We know there are more of us. Now peep this, right? Naturally, under natural conditions, right? Black people have always had more, not just black people and Aboriginal people. They've always had a higher population of women than men, right?
Yeah.
This is heaven for a straight man, right? Under, for real,
It
God,
is.
if we want to say the creator, they don't make mistakes, right? It's a female planet, right? What you see me today, brother Calls, about the lioness? Sprinkle me with
Oh
that
yeah,
knowledge again.
man. Hold on
Go
a
ahead.
second.
Go ahead before I make my point.
Oh, you said the thing about the lioness earlier?
Yeah, read it to the family so they see what you was talking about.
Oh yeah, man. I'm gonna say where I got the quote from too. I had got the quote from brother Dennis Sperling, but it
Okay.
says the lioness is ruthless. She kills and eats the old, the young, and the sick and crippled, and anything she can. Now imagine how ruthless the lion must be to keep his lioness under control. Black
Huh?
men learn a lesson, you know.
Feel me?
Yeah,
The
man,
gorilla,
absolutely.
the gorilla, right? Man,
Break it
right?
down.
You are, right?
Yeah,
And all, right? You see the point I'm making?
yeah.
So, but under the yoke of oppression, slavery, right? And Christianity, right? Now, my dad told me this a while back. We were talking about Arabs and Jews, right? He was saying that the Jews have the highest percentage of firstborn males, right? Took them some time to get to that point, right? Took them
Mm-hmm.
some time, but they share the same context that Arabs have, right? Remember, Arabs before Islam, they were burying, right? They were burying. If their firstborn was a female, they were burying that motherfucker. Feel me?
Yeah.
You see, burying them, my boy. You see what I'm saying? And then look at the mythology of the Bible, right? Did Jesus have a stepdaddy, brother Cars?
Did Jesus have a stepdaddy?
Yes,
Yeah, yeah, Joseph.
Joseph. And what did Joseph tell Mary when he found out she was pregnant? Huh?
What do you say? We're blessed, right? Or some shit like that.
How did you get pregnant when no
Oh,
man has ever?
how is this possible?
You know that. And it took God, right? What did the Bible say? God came to him in a dream, right? And after that dream, that's when Joseph said, "All right, I'm here," right?
I'm down for it. That's what he said. Yeah, that's what he said. I'm down for it.
Now, what did Mary say? She didn't say this Pookie baby, this killer baby, this Ray Ray baby. That's God's son, huh?
Yeah,
Ain't it ironic that the majority of women who follow Christianity are ending up being modern Marys, but aren't seeing their sons as children of right?
that's deep, McGraw.
Did Mary take her? Did Mary take Joseph, or did Mary go to Mary Povich? Did she want a DNA test?
No,
She said
he said
God's son,
DNA test.
right? Now, what if a lot of black women made that
We
same
got a lot.
decision?
We got a lot of that. It's my son nowadays.
It's my
They
son.
ain't
You feel
even
me?
God's son. The women to the women ain't even God's son. It's theirs.
I mean,
Yeah.
the biggest thing I fear for my sons, brother, cause is if they don't gangbang, if they don't get smoked out, is the women, mainly are women
Yo,
who see not just all men, but black men as a come up, right?
yep. I was
Now,
just having this conversation with my son too, man. Go ahead, I'm listening.
am I right?
No, you're right. I was just having this conversation with my son, man. I was talking to him. I said, yo, man. I said, I got you out the hood and shit. We in the country. You know, you working. You're growing a fucking beard, sideburns and shit, hair long. I said, yo, man, you gonna be dealing with some some challenges because these women is gonna be coming up on you, and you're gonna have to be aware of what it is.
You know what I mean?
When they approach you. Yeah, man.
Now,
that's my worst concern, yo. Like, you know what's crazy?
They're not stupid when they say,
nah, not at all. He's seeing
why
right.
is the large number? Why is the large number of black males, young black males, not dating black women? Because they see in these twerk videos. There's no shame. Remember, when you was coming up, black girl fight you if you ever caught her or promoted the legacy that she was a hood rat, right? She had shame.
Oh yeah, she was. Right? It was disempowering. Yep.
But now ain't no shame. Anything for the bag, right?
Anything for the bag.
Twerk at any song coming on, right? They see that.
All day.
They don't want that. That's why they date Latinos and so forth. I had a Latin dude tell me. He said, McGraw, Latino women were raised to be wise. Black women were raised to be strong and independent. You see the difference?
Yep.
But still, now you got two kind of independent motherfuckers. A truly independent woman don't want nobody to pay for nothing. She'll go out her way to prove a point, right? Pay for her meal and yours, right?
Oh, yeah.
Then you have some who want to save their money and spend yours.
No, you're absolutely right, man.
Huh?
You're absolutely right.
Right? Basketball wise, right? Kobe Bryant gets caught fucking that white girl. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
He gets caught and snitches on Shaq, right? Shaq is divorced from Shawnee because of Kobe. You hear me? Shaq paid the tab, right? You gotta give him something, bro. Kobe thought he was gonna fuck the white girl, another shit in Colorado, and not give her nothing. That's why he ended up getting bitten in the ass, right? You didn't give her a tip, nigga, nothing. Shaq had females that they didn't even know about because he paid them off, right?
Yeah.
And then when he died,
he followed the code.
And then when he died, his own parents couldn't speak at his funeral, right? Now this he's not the typical Negro. His daddy was an NBA, right? So him living overseas, right? That's based on his father's, right? So if his father sold some merchandise, he can do that because he knows it's gonna come back, right? And he was pissed off because you married a Latino woman right out of high school, bro. Huh?
Without even thinking about it.
And what's your punishment? All daughters. Huh?
That's deep.
Now, Dr. Sebi said that when a black woman is ovulating, right? Her egg is vibrating so high that a white boy's sperm can't penetrate it until the last day when it's finna die, right? Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then accept it. Then he said that you can tell when you have mixed first generation mulattoes because they always have eye and bone issues, right? Wearing glasses, right? Bone issues, right? Right?
That's true, man.
Now, when peep it out, I'm on to something now. Now, I'm not using no absolutes, but when a brother is fucking with a female that's not black, right? Right? His sperm is vibrating at a black woman's tune, right? Hers is recessive, right? Now, in in race, black is dominant, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in gender, female is dominant, right? Follow me?
Mm-hmm.
Large number of brothers who have children by women that are not
Oh,
black.
but you're right. They have a lot of daughters.
Why?
I always wondered that too.
Right? Because she
Yeah.
still has genetic potential to hold, right? Because believe it or not, she has your mama's mitochondrial DNA, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if she was to mix or if she was to have a baby, right? Let's just say a Latino female, like Kobe, right? What was his favorite? Gigi?
Yeah, as old as that.
If Gigi was to mate with a brother, it would produce a very, you feel me? Strong replication of Kobe. You hear me?
Oh yeah, that'd be a strong. You damn right. Might look just like him.
Feel me?
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
How many siblings does Kobe have?
I think he only got a sister.
Kobe got sisters older than him,
Mm-hmm.
right? When you
Yep, believe so.
when he gets drafted, his mama right there by him. So you mean to tell me that his parents selling Bergelia that their son gave them, right? It's not these not desperate parents. These are NBA parents, right?
Yeah, they
Why
got
would
money too. It ain't like they was poor people selling their kids to get money to be rich.
or okay, but why were they selling Kobe shit?
You're
Huh?
right.
I remember when me and Kobe not that far apart. I remember when Kobe came to LA, he was dating Brandy. He was on the Moesha show.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Brandy would have get a nigga a son. Hmm? Now look what's going on. Right? I watched the interview with her and she said that we made an agreement that if one of us rode the helicopter, one of us will stay. What?
What the fuck? Well, his wife said that.
Yeah. Now this ain't a nigga who renting a motherfucking whole. This is a nigga, a millionaire who owns a whole a helicopter and a driver,
Almost a billionaire.
right?
Yeah.
Feel me? Right out of high school, right? She was mad at the family because they didn't accept her. Like nigga, you gonna
Mm-hmm.
marry a wet? You gonna excuse my language, but if we can say nigga, we can say wetback, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nigga, son, I done took you to Italy, all these places, and I told you don't marry, right?
Yep. Don't marry out.
You above them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kobe mama is black. His daddy's black.
Exactly. They represent the best in the black community, which is what is it compared to? What could you compare it to as far as black success in spite
They
of all the shit?
they would have more to say at the funeral than she would. They can go into
Anybody.
detail. I remember when Kobe was 8 years old, right? And we were
Mm-hmm.
living in France, right?
Yeah.
Huh? Right? Huh?
Absolutely.
Out of all his daughters, he only had one that wanted that claimed to be black. Gigi, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we literally saw her grow up. If you're a Laker fan, right?
Yep.
I don't think if it's about money, right? I don't think what his parents did for some money was that bad where they couldn't speak at their own son's funeral.
You damn right. They ain't like they
Because
got anything else. I've been trying to get rid of memories. Then if I can't
right,
make that one lasting memory.
right, it became a point where she probably dreaded coming to the Staples Center. When that was your job, you right out of high school. Your job is right.
Yeah.
That's we learned about this during Spain, right? That's how we lost Spain. We were marrying outside our race, right? And history has shown that, like Dr. Clark said, the role of the bastard is a factor in history, right? And that history has shown that they will always be loyal to the father's side that's in power.
All day. Yep.
Huh? Now he didn't die. He married her young, right? And I'm pretty sure he supported a lot of things she did. Name one thing, one contribution she made, right? Snoop Dogg made his wife his manager, right? Jay-Z, Beyonce, right? What does Vanessa Bryant do or done? Even fucking Kanye, even fucking Kim Kardashian was pushing for what? Criminal reform, wasn't she? Huh?
Hell yeah.
So you don't think that it was some envy that developed, right? That's a question you got to ask a woman, right? If you were married to a superstar basketball player, right?
Yeah.
Right out of high school, right? Would you feel a look, right? Would you feel a certain type of way, right? If somebody asked you, right? She ain't made not one free throw, right? Wake the fuck up. Let's examine the Wade family, right? Gabrielle Union is the man in that relationship.
Oh yeah, she's dominant, man.
In every role she played, that was her being herself, conniving, right? Manipulating. And niggas turned on Boosie. So, like I said before in the beginning of the show, we are divided. The black household is divided. Black man and woman are divided about issues of family, gender, and sexuality.
Mm-hmm.
On one hand, the number one minority are black women. The number one college graduate are black women. Business owners, black women. CEOs, black women. But her son is public enemy number one. Mama got a life too. So, so do black women who have kids, who have black sons, do they see them as burdens, as holding them back, right? And when he reaches 18, I'm done. When we all know
Oh,
that's
he's
the
out of
age,
there.
right? When that's the age when you really get to see what type of person you raised, right? That's when I needed my father. That's when I needed guidance when I turned 18 to 23, right? After sending them to school, right, and being raised by strangers, right? What kind of values did you put in them? and then you have a large number of black fathers now, right? Me and
Yeah,
you, me and you fall in that category, right?
absolutely, man.
I'm raising 2 sons on my own. Feel me?
Yeah. Shoot, I was just talking to my oldest today about pretty much just the whole legacy thing and how this, how information has to be transferred down and why it has to be transferred down, and you know,
Oh,
just those types of things, man.
oh. And Kwame Brown said something, right? He said, "Why, when a black child growing up in a single parent household, why does he have to buy his mama a house? That's a lot of pressure, right?
Mm-hmm. Who puts that burden on them now?
Mom.
Moms does.
Why mom
Mom,
couldn't
mom,
allow?
mom wants you to take care. Mom wants you to take care of her like dad was supposed to.
Right. Why you the only one that'll take care of mom? Right?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's an honest question, right?
Yeah.
That's a lot of pressure. Yeah, I bought my mama a house. Why? Why mama couldn't say, baby, don't worry about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
You see? And why are you seeing a larger number or influx of fathers wanting to be parents? Hmm?
Shit, we
One,
don't want them outcomes, man. We don't want the if you you know what's crazy about statistics and the modern time is that it's almost like the future for you if you pay attention. So if you say, well, damn, if these are the percentages for me not being involved, or from the moms doing it, trying to do it on their own, then I'm the only way to save my damn children. Their mom's not even enough based on the conditions of our society.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Absolutely. It's funny. I just talked to my youngest son. He's 14. I had sent him a phone to establish contact because got tired of going through his mother being restrictive when she wanted to, right?
Right.
So he got the phone in the mail. He finally called me today and stuff. And so we just initially made contact, talked for like 20 minutes, hung up the phone. His mom texted me back immediately, trying to tell me about, how don't I guess hype my son up too much or whatever. I didn't even know she was in the background listening to our conversation.
Right. Why would she want
You
to listen to
know,
conversation?
yeah, man. So she called herself trying to be accountable eventually by calling me back on my son's phone. Because since he got a phone, I just blocked her because there's no point in talking to her about nothing. I
Right.
could communicate with him. You know what I'm saying? And so she jumps. I'm thinking he's calling me back as her, calling me on his phone that I bought him. But I couldn't call her. I couldn't call to talk to him on her phone because it's her phone.
The phone you bought.
Yeah, she called me on his phone that I bought. It's like, whoa, 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 whoa.
And
You
why you
know,
buy the phone?
I bought the phone because she wouldn't allow me to talk to him on her phone. It was conditional. So what I did was I said yes, into the phone, and she tried to update me on a bunch of whatever it was she hasn't told me about my kid that she, how these single moms are sometimes where they'll accuse you of not being involved and knowing what's going on,
Right.
but that's based upon their liberty of sharing information.
Right.
So if you don't know, you don't know. So she's like, oh, he's been real anxious, I'm like, all right, so to what extent? Oh, he's anxious and he has problems expressing himself. I said, I have a solution for that. So so I guess he was upset after the conversation. He said he had a question for me. So she's like, go ahead and ask your father. You told me, you tell him. So I'm like, what the fuck is this question? Tell me what the question. What's your concern, rather? He said, I don't want you to take me away from my mom.
Wow.
I said, what? You don't want me to take you away from your mother? I said, you ain't even got to worry about me taking you away from your mom. That's not something I would consider doing in a way that you're thinking. You know what I'm saying? I said, so this woman that told my son I'm going to take him away and he's never going to see her again or some shit. So he been believing this shit all this time.
Right. That's what she fears, right?
That's her fear. So I had to reassure him that, nah, man, it's not that type of thing, man. He's like, well, it's already out in the open, I said, what are you talking about? He said, I don't want you to take me away from my mom. So whoa. Ain't nobody talking about taking you. Whoa. So I got some work to do, but it's funny because to watch a woman think she's gonna coach him through becoming a man, but knowing the process from being one and having to become one, I'm like, eventually he ain't gonna want her in his ear telling him what the fuck to say. I had to actually, I'm really just catching the fact that him being 14, he's fresh in this thing, right? Right. His voice is getting deep, tall, So I don't want him to identify with that scary shit, I don't want you taking me away from my mom.
Right.
You done adopted him. He's adopted his mother's fear, basically.
Right. After we've been talking, that's all you came to realize that I'm gonna take you from your mom.
Yeah. Hey, I said, damn, man. She does, that's when this is an instance where a mother can really impair the male child.
Mm-hmm.
He's open about it. He's like, I'm not really motivated to do anything. I know I'm kind of lazy. I homeschool, so once I'm done with class, I don't really do shit. I'm just like, yep.
Why are you so comfortable with that?
Yeah. So I'm listening to him. I said, okay.
Yeah.
So you got 3 exercises you can choose to do a day for a half hour at your age, man. I said, and that's push-ups, crunches, and walking or running. He's talking about his will to do a push-up. I said, yeah, you haven't used your fucking muscles.
Right.
So I'm looking at a situation where I got to continue this continuous communication so he understands that his ass needs to get the fuck away from his mother as soon as possible so that he can become a man, because if not, he's going to be a fucking bitch.
Exactly.
I said, what the hell? He's afraid of being around his father, and he knows his father does fucking fun shit. What kind of fucking crazy programming is this? I felt like she did some witchcraft on him. Like my son, he used to communicate openly. He had no restrictions on how he expressed himself and shit. So whatever she did in my absence, and I'm not saying me being absent, whatever she did by keeping him away, changed my son, basically.
Right.
Yeah, he's not the same kid, man. I'm like, yo, this is some fucking bullshit.
No, and a woman, a woman can raise a young man to be a successful adult, right? But it's not natural, right?
Well, I was gonna say to what extent are we saying that? Just are we saying that a woman can raise a man to being a male child to being a adult?
I said a woman, a single parent mom can raise a son to be an adult. I didn't say a man.
Okay.
Now,
I thought I heard you say that too.
Let's do some examination, right? Right? Between men and women, right? Men are taught at an early age to take responsibility and accountability for their actions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Early, right? Shit, let's look at the culture, even in the street culture. If it's three of the homies, we all in the car and we get pulled over, take your charge, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even if you don't, it's brothers right now in jail because they didn't snitch and took accountability for their homie shit, right? No woman, I'm gonna say this again, no woman is going to take accountability for something she didn't do. Check. What is the role of the president?
You mean like women aren't programmed to sacrifice like that?
No, not to take accountability for their own. No, And she knows she didn't do it. No.
Yeah, no, she no.
Right?
You'd have to be a special. You'd have to have influence over her for her to do that.
Or she has some great men in her life, right?
Yeah.
That's the role of the president, to take responsibility for the condition of the country, right?
Mm-hmm. That's why they call America her.
They're not
America
built like
is a her.
like look how look at look at the brothers in jail and the sisters who rationalize why they shouldn't be holding them down, right? Why are you in there? You just tell them what happened, right? They don't understand the principles of I ain't gonna be no snitch, right?
Yeah, they don't understand the code.
They don't understand the code. How? When they have males. And this in the past 5 years, black women been having more sons than daughters. That's nature making. That's nature
Making a
assessing.
correction. Yeah, yeah, because there's more of them than us right now.
Right. There's always been more females than males, right?
Yeah.
But under the yoke of America, they've been producing a lot of males. Why? Because nature says you need defense. You need an army. You got beautiful black women joining the military for money. Money. Right. Money. Huh?
You're right.
So somebody forgot about the struggle. Now, they say you can measure a nation by their women, right?
That's what they say. On what? A nation doesn't rise no higher than this woman, right?
Exactly. Right? Jay-Z took him a while, but he finally caught on, right? Married, right? Now he got legacy, right? A man needs something to defend and protect, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
yo, it's crazy. That's when you get best. That's when you get best.
That's when you right.
That's when you test that. That's when you put the. That's what I don't. This what I'm gonna say. This. That's when you put to test the shit you individually do, like or what you individually build yourself up to be.
Feel me?
Because I'm gonna say that I hear a lot of men out there, especially black men, talk about reasons for not marrying black women or marrying at all. And focus on getting your bag as a man and worry about women later on and all this type of stuff. But what kind of legacy are you gonna start at 60 with a 30-year-old trying to have babies and be? That's not realistic.
Huh?
And then, like I said, the challenge is for you to put to the test your manhood. Like so, you can say all day you the illest nigga alive and have a great job or you got 5 streams of income and you work out, but what is your capacity to build beyond yourself? And I think that's the real true test of man when it comes to building a family and sustaining one and then taking it to what the next level it needs to go, even in your absence, because all things come to an end.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? Well, I think brothers lost sight of that, just like in some instances, I think sisters lost sight of valuing the legacy or continuity of the community.
Right.
Yeah, because you gotta get some movement going in order to generate, so you gotta generate some motion to get that movement going for the community to come together. If it's fragmented.
Now, Elder told me this. He said, when you look at American culture for the black family,
Mm-hmm.
to some extent, black women are punished for keeping the black sons, right? I'm gonna say that again. To some extent, when you look at American culture, black women who choose to keep their children, who choose to give birth to that black son, are kind of punished, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at sisters who don't want to have babies, right? I don't want to have any children. Why not? That's going against nature, right? Right?
Yeah.
Because she doesn't want the really, if you really take the time to really ask and be sincere, you'll find out she doesn't want the burden of giving birth
She
to the
doesn't want
black.
the burden of life outside of her own.
Feel me?
Mm-hmm.
So what is your purpose here? Because if you don't feel the need to want to participate and create black offspring, then that means you're being used by the opposition.
That's deep. You said that too, man. I heard a brother say earlier, he's speaking in reference to weaponized sisters and how he questioned, he said, why is it they try to destroy you after they don't want you no more? He said they treat you, remember, she's a Terminator.
Mm.
So she's already aborted the kids. She gotta exterminate you, your character and everything.
Damn, bro. Brother
I
Carl,
said that's some tough shit, yo.
We didn't even bring that up. We didn't even bring that part up either.
Nah, we didn't, man. Yo, I heard it in reverse. The same thing. They said we're at a minus 50%. I heard a brother say, "Yo, we at minus 50%." He said, "Shit, well, this should be 50% more black people than there is right now."
Feel me? Now we're not here to point and say, black women's. No, we just saying that the house is divided, right?
Yeah,
Who's
the
still
house is
fighting?
divided. The house is divided, and certain people have played certain roles, man.
Now who's still fighting? Who's still dying? Or who's still going to jail? The males.
Brothers.
Why? Because they have the potential to create change, right?
Yeah, the potential to circumvent white male leadership.
Right. So the fact that like my kid's mom, she has 4 sons, right? 2 by me, right?
Mm-hmm.
I said the ancestors blessed you. She thinks it's a burden because she's looking at ain't no man gonna want to be with no woman that got 4 sons. I said you right, especially if you didn't have by one man, right? But
Mm-hmm.
look at the good side. That you were provided with almost a small right that has the potential to
Small
go on.
army. She got the protection of 4 males.
Right. So either when our situation will change when our women wants to change. When black women are saying,
It will change overnight.
"Yep, I don't want this country no more. I'm tired of this shit. I want something new." Her son, if the son is able to program himself to become an NBA player to buy her a house, he can do the same thing when it comes to right. I want this country. Yes, mama.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You want a
Yo.
system that excludes your son, right?
Mm-hmm.
You
Now
come in, but
you speaking on Codex. Now that the exclusion of the males is Agenda 21. That's the goal. Just take all funding and redirect it towards female and feminine based agendas.
Now I'm talking to a sister, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, "Man, Karan, I just don't like that word alpha male." I said, "Why not? Every woman should love that word, right? That's the leader, right? Every woman should love, right? Where's he at? Where's the alpha male? I've been looking for him, right? She's cool with Tyler Perry and would defend him and say, well, he's not right, but you got a problem with alpha male? And the minute you hear alpha male, you think of submission, right? Submit. We didn't ask you to submit. Accountability. Feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And your brother brother Samuel, what's brother name is?
Oh, Kevin Samuel.
He has shown that regardless of race, and I'm not talking about every race, I'm talking about my woman, they don't like to be put on the spot where they're being questioned. Who are you to question me? Hmm? The
Right,
main
you're right.
problem, the main problems in start relationships is when you have the audacity to question your girl, your woman. She can question you all, where you work at, what kind of money you make, what kind of car you drive, right?
Yeah. What's the common question? Why don't black men when they're dating, why don't they tell women they want to deal with multiple women or got multiple women? I said shit. The same reason black women don't tell black men when they dating they got multiple men.
Huh?
Meaning, how could you expect us to always be accountable, but you're not expected to do anything? You know, that's that part.
Huh? No accountability. I mean, we even go as far as, well, if you didn't do what you did, you made me.
You made me, yeah.
For the cause, you made me cheat.
Yeah, man. Hey, I work in a bakery. I got the family business, man. I had a customer come in. No lie, she said this yesterday out loud, man. She was in it by herself. But what's funny is when women talk about doing ratchet shit and they see another woman pop up, they shut up or quickly get away so their business ain't out there, right? This chick go and say, she on the phone bragging while she ordering some food. She said, man, she said, I had to cheat on him. She cheated on her man before he could cheat on her, man.
Feel me?
I said, how the fuck in my head? I said, how the fuck she know he's gonna cheat on her? She don't cheat on her.
Now, when it comes to relationships, brother calls, I think a little differently. Feel me?
Oh man.
The easiest thing to do is cheat, right?
Yeah.
That's because you got two kind of
Well,
people,
it is the
male or
easiest thing to do.
female.
If you
Peep it
if
out,
you not if you got some change in your pocket, you can cheat.
peep it out, peep it out, peep it out. Whether they're male or female, right? There's two kind of people, right? Number one, I'm with you because you're the best thing for me, right? That's the first person, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very rare because they have to admit that you're the best thing for me, right? The second one, which is the problem, is I'm with you until something better comes along, right? And that's fine, but be honest, right? Don't make it seem like we building towards something when it's really till something better come along, right? The ones who take the position of something better come along, I expect them to cheat, right? You can see the characteristics of that type because they'll show you if you really pay attention, right?
Oh yeah.
Fishing, right? Looking for shit that's irrelevant, fishing for chinks in your armor, right? But if they are the type that's fishing and then they go out and cheat and they come back, now you crush their ass. But for me, if you were with me till something else better come along, when you cheated, I expect that you cheated with something that was better, right? But you
You know
didn't.
it never worked that way.
But it didn't. So why are you here, right?
It's because you gotta go back to home base.
Right now, I'm talking to you any old way. Now, feel me?
Yeah, you can talk however you want. You actually you actually got the you got the leverage. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And that's what man has, foresight, right?
Yeah.
When you stop thinking with your little head, right? Right.
Yeah, that's deep because foresight. Foresight's almost like the equivalent to what they say intuition is for women when properly being applied.
Right. And intuition really ain't foresight. It's really like now. Foresight is like, yeah, you know, you got how many kids you got, shorty? You got 3 kids, 3 different baby. Yeah, this ain't gonna last, right? The
Yep.
ingredient.
Hey, I was telling my son, I said to him, I said, you at your age, you 20. I said, there's no reason why you need to be dating a female with 3 or 4 kids. Hell, you shouldn't be dating a woman with 1 kid at your age.
Man, hey, I blame my situation. You shouldn't. You shouldn't have to. Anybody that tells you that
Nah,
you
I told
should,
her, hell no.
lying. You shouldn't have
I
lying.
said, if you interested, I said you should be starting from scratch, learning
Yep.
some new shit. I said the moment you at your age, I said it's easy. It should be easy for you to tell who's a hoe and who not. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying? I said because there ain't but so much experience a 20-year-old woman's supposed to have. You feel me?
Even lions don't do that. What do lions do when they get a new pride? The first thing they do,
What male lion? You saying?
when the male lion takes over a new female pride, what's the first thing he does?
Kill the babies.
Why?
We ain't having no stragglers. We ain't raising up somebody weak at the loser's bloodline. Yo, because the one that loses bloodline is basically like who's more supreme.
Why am
Well,
I going to?
I beat your daddy, so you don't have a right to survive because I'm stronger than your daddy. Only my seed is survive here.
Why would we raise a cub that has the potential to destroy my legacy?
Yep.
Hmm? That's the most valuable thing a woman has.
So I got a question for you about that. So you think that transcends race, meaning like you should be more privy to raising another black man's child than let's say getting a relationship with a white girl and raise her white child.
That's not going to happen. But while dating, while dating sisters, right? While dating sisters, you shouldn't feel bad at all if you don't want to date a female that got kids. You shouldn't.
Yeah.
That's the most valuable thing a woman has is her virginity.
Yo, I just saw this shit. This white woman was selling her virginity for $3 million, man.
Feel me? It's so valuable that you can get tricked out of it if you don't pay
Yo, and
attention.
then women sit there and be mad, like, oh, why she gotta sell her virginity? Well, the virginity is
Why,
worth more than women even understand in the modern era, man.
why wouldn't she? That's the most valuable thing she has to bring to the table. I'm the only one. That's what men don't want bodies.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want you having a head start on the shit we about to do because you done did the shit already with somebody else.
I don't want
I'd be
no
like, damn, how
bodies.
you know? I'd be like, damn, how you know he was about to do that position?
Even in Islam, what do they promise them brothers? 70 versions.
Well, what's the reason? It's for what?
Heaven,
Purity of your lineage, right?
heaven for a Muslim man is having 70 women or however many versions that ain't never been touched by nobody. Hmm?
Yep.
So it's expected of you to cheat. Your value goes down. Even if I cheat and you decide to cheat, your value still goes down because you lowered yourself to a man. Our
You
values are
lowered yourself
different.
to the standards of a man. Yep. And then, I had posed this question. Some sister asked the question. Oh, so women don't wear condoms? Because I said, I said it's worse when women cheat. I said because if you born in raw, you born every man you born in raw. You got so much semen in you, so many different men's DNA in you, man. I said a man's gonna know if you experience, you're gonna know what you know what you dealing with, what you dealing with, what you working
So
with, man. There's some women I've been with, and the first time I was with him, I was like, I would never marry this broad. All right. She ain't gotta tell me what her body count is. I know what her body count is. It's over the threshold. That's what the fuck is called.
especially if you a smart nigga, right? And you thinking like, I know for sure that it's always gonna be another nigga flyer than me with better conversation, right? Now let's take the average
Shit,
female
man.
that go out,
I
right?
don't know about that. I don't know. Look, go ahead.
Let's take the average female, right? She goes out, right? And you meet this dude and you like him and y'all date for a little while and eventually you let the nigga hit raw and then y'all break up and you go back to a different club, meet a dude and you like him and hit raw. You keep doing that shit for 5-6 years, bitch, you a trash can.
Yeah, and why she let him hit it raw? Because she got the fucking implant.
Right? And I got 2 boys who I'm raising single parent, right? And I gotta tell them, no matter what she say, you put that rubber on anyway, right?
Yep. I was just saying the same thing today too, man.
And I'm fucking with a sister, right? Who older than me in her 40s, right? We've been talking for a while, but I wasn't pressing her for the yoni, right? Why? Because every other nigga has, right?
Yeah, she's lived long enough for every nigga to have it if she ain't married.
Right? So I'm trying something different. Me and girl trying something different. I'm trying to get her mind, right? And when and once I did get the mind and it got to the physical, she was willing to, and I'm not the only one, a lot of niggas, right? I come to the house, I ain't even trying to fuck, right? So I don't even think about grabbing no rubbers, right? She, oh, you don't need no condom. What? This is something I'm telling my kids, right? I trust you. Why? And I am a good dude. And I'm trustworthy. But what is it about me that you trust that you wouldn't let me fuck raw?
And then you got to think about how many men did she have to be with to
Exactly.
be able to distinguish between whatever she's trying to say, you know?
Right? How many dudes have you trusted and let him? Feel me? We don't want bodies.
Can't do nothing with it, man.
We complain about a woman that can't fuck, but we'll take a woman, right?
Well, yo, that's crazy because women with bodies think the experience they get with men makes them more valuable than a woman with less experience.
Makes you more desirable in terms of fucking, but not building nothing with.
And even that's for the moment because it's like, yo, this shit ain't. This is you done too
So
ready, man. You already.
So you got to ask the question:
Huh?
What do you really know about men? And we're not complex creatures, right?
Yeah, you question what they know outside of sex regarding men. If that's all they got to offer. Yeah, man. That's deep. You said that about the old head. Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they. That's how they do. That's what they say. Yo, if you was born in a certain era, man, they wasn't using no rubbers back in the damn 70s and shit.
But
80s era.
they had shame, right? It was
You
shameful.
said what?
They had shame.
They still had shame. Yeah.
It was shameful to be pregnant by me. You know what I mean? Who you weren't married to.
Yeah, I was gonna say you probably had more virgins back then too.
Man.
Based on the damn shame.
Right?
It wasn't all thought. It wasn't that.
Yeah, even if I ain't got no daughters, but if I did, I'll tell them the most valuable thing you have, sweetheart, is your virginity, right? And
Yeah.
it's so valuable that men are gonna try to trick you out of it, right? And no matter what they say, if you choose not to give it up, you still hold your value. What can they say about you?
Still stay. Yep. You
What can
still
they say
keep a
about a woman
value.
who's a virgin and didn't give it up? Fuck you. They can't call you a hood rat.
You can't call you not. Can't call them nothing. And you can't get it. You
Huh?
farther from getting it than anybody.
Now you in a position to bargain now, right?
Yeah.
So when a nigga say, "Who are you to ask for this, that, and the third?" I'm a virgin. Oh, okay. Oh, you right.
All right, I respect it.
Right? Would you say you right?
Mm-hmm.
You got women that got 2, 3 kids, and now they're taking an oath of celibacy. Get the fuck out of here.
Yo, I just saw something today, man, and it's this online group, and a woman was like 42 years old talking about some no sex until marriage.
Right.
And I'm like, she one of the ones that got kids grown out the house type of thing. So, oh, because your kids don't live in the house anymore. You a virgin because you single. You
Uh,
know, that's only in her head, man.
why would I marry you?
Grandmas, celibate grandmothers.
Right. Well, why would I marry you? Right. Let's use your logic. Right. Let's wait till marriage. What do you have to offer? Right. That will make me want to marry you. Your beauty gonna fade away. Mine too. Right.
That depends, man. You be doing Ron Isley style out here, man.
It go like I said earlier. It proves my point. You you either with somebody because they're the best thing for you, and that's very rare that you'll meet somebody to say, "Brother Carl, you know what? I think you're the best thing for me," and that's why I said yes. Feel me?
Yeah.
I don't want to be alone, but I know you're not the one for me, so I'm just till something else better come along. Okay, let it be known, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they're not gonna say that. Feel me?
That's well said, man.
Yep. When they say what, and they ask you, "Why are you with me?" Because you're the best thing for me.
Shit, I just told my lady that tonight. The other day, I said, you're 100% woman all the way around.
Mm-hmm.
I have been asked this question about what an alpha woman was. It pretty much is just a woman functioning properly in her femininity, man. At the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
that's it. You can't be no more alpha than being yourself when it comes to women. If they want to use terminology and play on words and shit, oh, that's being submissive to the masculinity in the relationship, and you know what I'm saying? Alpha
Right.
woman, oh, she cooks, cleans, and does. Oh, shuts her mouth too, and
And that's the problem. They don't want to be accountable to nobody. It's not about submitting. It's accountability.
yeah, it's the accountability, man.
You have to explain yourself to your husband. Feel me?
Yeah.
And that's really the problem. I don't I don't need to explain myself to no man.
What is it? Well, marriage is a form of oppression to a lot of these women
How?
because they don't want to have a man to answer to.
They don't want to have a man that's legally responsible for them. That's stronger than love.
You're right.
Hey baby, I want to be legally responsible for you. Even when the love even when the love run out, right?
Yeah, man.
That's why when you see white couples, like why are they still together? Because they still legally responsible for another and doing the job, right?
Mm-hmm.
Slaves could live in the same household but couldn't get married because the children belong to master. Feel me?
Yep.
You would think with all the single parents, you would think that women will push towards marriage so that their kids can inherit, right, their name, wealth, and property of their fathers, right? You got some sisters young too, pregnant, and already making decisions that they're gonna do it on their own.
You damn right. Shit, they decided before the nigga even stuck his dick in.
And got a whole support system of, you feel me?
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't need him, girl. You can do it by yourself. Who is he to tell you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in actuality, it's a shortage of men, right?
It's true, man.
We practicing polygamy without even knowing it.
Yup. Think about it all the time, man. Yo, you know how limited the American woman's mind is when you bring up polygamy and you tell them that it's like the most practiced form of marriage in the world. They feel
Mm-hmm.
they feel sad, like those women are oppressed. It's like it couldn't be that if it wasn't successful.
Right. And you know what the real
It
problem
would,
is? Accountability.
yeah.
You got to come to an agreement, right?
And you know it's crazy. They say that the black woman is the least accountable in her community to her community.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she gets to pick and choose what she values. She's not expected to share responsibility for the whole. She can take care of herself and the girls, and that's it.
Now, you would think that's why she's not qualified to league, right?
Yep. Yeah, because it seems like there's something missing in her instinct that you can't. What was the term I heard? She thinks of herself as the whole community. She is the reason for everything. And that's back to the whole womb worship and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I decide who lives and who fucking dies. You know?
Mm-hmm.
As if abortion clinics are a staple in human civilization, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's that part. We can't get to the point where we can speak the truth without feeling some level of resistance or retribution. Even like we got cancel culture now, so black men got to be mindful of. Not that it matters because we can survive without our women, but because again, we're still the standard. But the idea that they could cancel support for black men because of black men's views. This is the first time ever in history we'd be doing this. We'd have to be concerned about that or consider that without white folks actively saying we're helping black women do it. No, black women would be going to white society to help embolden the cancellation of black men if black men aren't agreeable. You'd see it on television networks. You see it all over.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because no one right now is against that type of those programs and images. That's why I feel like Cosby getting out is kind of like a win for, it's a win for black masculinity to an extent because he's got his wife supporting him in spite of whatever the fuck, and she's not the only woman supporting him. So there's strength in that balance. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that's more so, like you said, if sisters got behind brothers overnight, man, in mass, meaning put their conditions aside, there's things will change overnight. But
Yeah.
we're not gonna get anywhere with the sisters running shit. This world isn't gonna become fucking Superwoman's planet and shit like white folks want you to believe. This ain't
Right.
about to be an Amazon planet. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Was not gonna be that.
And the cold
They gotta
part is
get that.
the cold part is, brother Cause, they can get behind their son because a lot of sisters are single parents, right?
Yeah.
Not behind him in terms of submitting, but the message that you're giving him, right? On one hand, my mother, yours probably too, over prepared me for a woman that don't exist no more.
Yeah.
That's why I know how to cook, clean, and sew. Mama knew, right? Why? Because we kind of benefited, the boys benefited with single parents being moms, right?
I'd say the boys in when the 80s. I won't say the boys of the 90s and 2000s.
What about the sisters who didn't have a father though?
Again, look at the time. Look at the time frame. Our eras,
All right.
the output of our era. So the sisters of single parent households are the ones. Is all these sisters with all these fucking degrees and they bought their bags in their 30s. 30. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mad at men because their mama mad at men.
Yeah, mad at men because they follow. But see, they're also successful because of them follow their mama's program too.
Mm-hmm.
And that's whether they got baby daddies and multiple kids or not. But the generation behind them are broke baby mamas.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't benefit from their mamas having college degrees the same way. So I feel like it kind of, in some ways, it
Some
like
bitterness.
our parent, huh?
Some bitterness on that side, huh?
Yeah, yeah, man. It's just not the same. The outcome's just not the same.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say from if we were going based on imagery growing up, black academics success regarding a collegiate level visually hit its peak for me with like A Different World and shit and stuff going into the early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's visually seeing black males involved academically and being involved in those things. Black women's continuity in that seemed to go on forever, and black men faded out. So,
Mm-hmm.
like when I see individuals of our, we about 39, right? You 39,
Yeah.
about to be 39. So, individuals in our generation, as far as black males with degrees, from where I grew up, a lot of them got degrees. You know, they got them early. If they got them, they got them early. They didn't get them like right now, like I'm doing. They got them shits early, huh?
It's the same here.
Yeah, they got them early, but they also wasn't raising kids and having kids early. So these guys is having their first and second kids now and shit in life. You know what I'm saying? But then when you look at sisters again, like I said, the sisters is constant, man. They taking advantage of these incentives and these programs, man. There's so much out there, man. So much money out there for women, man. It's ridiculous. Not that it's ridiculous, but we think about the white man providing. He don't have no problems providing, making sure these women have everything they need to accomplish their goals, just like a man should, right? We got gender specific legislation, man. That's it.
Right.
But no heterosexual male legislation.
You see, I tell youngsters and sisters, after the money, then what? And like, what do you mean?
What are you gonna do with it? There's nothing left.
You. I'm not saying you can't accumulate the money. I'm saying you can, but once you do, what are you gonna do with it? Huh?
Mm-hmm.
We started off with nothing, right? Then we got some money and forgot how to act and end up paying for shit we never needed, right? Now we hustle just to keep that shit. Like a brother calls, for example, infrastructure, right?
Yep.
Education, right? You got plan in place. Or somebody was to give you some land, right? An opportunity, right?
Oh man, I'm going right to work.
I want to travel. I want to see the planet, right? We live in a time of individuals, and I've never seen an army of individuals agree on anything.
Never. It's hard to get two individuals to agree.
Now picture a whole army. Can't even call it
So
that, huh?
yo, we dealing with a situation where we'd have to have a collective ego death.
Yep. But the collective ego is Eurocentric.
It's Eurocentric, so you'd have to have that cracker come off his pedestal. He'd have to fail immensely in a way that you couldn't deny what he is.
And after
Because
that,
him lying doesn't do it. So he'd have to fail in a way where the amount of suffering would go on so long, people would lose hope in the white man's ability to do anything right. Now I
all
thought
right,
COVID was gonna do it, but nah, COVID didn't do it.
it did for a minute. But you know who fucked that
It
up?
did for a minute. You're right.
The celebrities.
Huh?
I said it did for a minute until the celebrities got activated, right?
Yeah, he activated the celebrities and they saved the day, helped save the day. Yo, even in the damn CDC terminology on radio shows and stuff, they talk about the marketing money going behind it and hiring famous people to get others to take the jab, and then they're gonna keep pushing resources towards that to convince people, sending info to primary care physicians to since people trust them the most to get them to convince the people to take the jab. I'm like, this sounds like a fucking agenda and a half that ain't got shit to do with what they got you doing.
Exactly.
And it reads so clearly that that's the case. That's just more of a reason not to trust it.
Exactly. And look at all the incentives.
Oh man, what kind of incentives y'all got going over there? I know different regions have different
The lot,
incentives like movie tickets, discounts on shit.
the lottery.
The lottery.
Yeah, we'll put you in a state lottery.
Wow. Oh, if you get the fucking ticket.
Huh?
That's crazy.
When has America, a nation that charges for education, right? Right? A nation that extorts their younger generations, right? You follow.
Yo, I'm listening.
Because education is really pushed to determine your future, right?
Yep.
Every other country is free, right? Remember when Shaka Amo, what's the brother name from France? Shaka Ndugu.
Google. Yep.
He said that in France, the government is afraid of the people. In America, the people are afraid of the government. Feel me?
Mm-hmm.
You see? But a nation that extorts their younger generations, right? but willing to give out incentives for vaccine. Doesn't even sound right.
That don't sound right. That's crazy because, like in South Carolina, they got the education lotto. So a portion of the lotto goes towards the Board of Education funding, goes towards school funding.
Right.
So people's incentive to gamble is because they supposedly think it's benefiting the school. But what happens if you got a goddamn, $1 billion damn pot or something? How much is that going to the school system? You're not bailing out the Board of Ed.
Feel me?
You're giving them a portion of the proceeds, but it just shows that the school system is bought and paid.
You feel me?
Yeah.
No thinking required. Everybody forgot where we were at last year this time. Feel me?
Yo, Minkara. Not this time. Everybody forgot where we was at 2 months before COVID. They forgot pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID, right?
Yeah, they forgot pre-COVID, my G. That's what it is.
You see what I'm saying? And this nigga.
You know it's one of the most conflicting things I hear from black people.
Go ahead.
Race is a social construct.
Okay.
Race is a social construct. Now, you think when you say race is a social construct to the average nigga that don't know their history, when you say race is a social construct, do you think that makes racism irrelevant and non-existent, or do you think that empowers the argument for learning about race and confronting it? You know what I'm saying?
It does the same thing to decontextualize the subject as the same as not explaining why Asians are getting assaulted, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah,
Okay.
man. I find it as like the term is used to excuse addressing racism as a reality.
Right.
And the fact because when they use the term, "oh, race is a social construct," you'll find this person trying to include everybody in being victims of racism.
Right.
And I personally still can't think of racism outside of white supremacy against black people. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Because
why
it's
you
not
ask.
about it's not about them being concerned about the rise of the Native American or some shit. It's not what the fuck they're concerned about. And it's like time and time again they prove to you that we are still their main concern.
Yep.
But it seems to be the easiest thing for Negroes to excuse themselves from being at war, basically. Oh no, I ain't at war. Nigga, this shit ain't about race. Race is just a social construct.
Right.
Nigga, if you don't stop saying that shit, nigga, I'll smack the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of hearing people intellectualize it with catchphrases and they're using their intellect, mostly their collegiate background or professional experience or even age, to invalidate racism as something that should be still a priority in the minds of black people.
Right.
And racism is the only reason for your fucking condition. So how could that not be something that you're prioritizing being aware of?
Right. And I asked the
So,
question, okay, if it is, why was it socially constructed?
yeah, like this is what I'm saying. This is we're in a fucking I don't know if I want to be black anymore era. Like meaning the same way people are leaving mentally. Oh, you got trans racism, white folks that think they're black living as black people. So it's like black folks are trying to find a billion different ways to run away from what they are, right?
From responsibility.
And white man society can't come up with enough names to help niggas escape being niggas. You feel me?
Yep.
and they're running out of words, and we still got a whole lot of niggas that is just that. They don't fit into the fucking. They don't. Nigga is the word.
Yep.
When they say, what should we decide to call ourselves? I say respectfully, nigga. What the fuck else have you ever been? It is not to say others haven't. Well, you can add a negative connotation to it and everything and so forth, but if you say the white man created the nigga, and the nigga don't cease to exist,
Right.
the nigga didn't disappear because he got a degree or fucking. The nigga didn't even disappear. Nigga trying to rename himself. Still nigga.
Trying to escape some shit, huh?
He trying to escape himself. And again, I'm being honest with this. I think black people need to really look at accepting Negro or nigga as they motherfucking identity once and for all, man. Something because there's really niggas are unique to only the United States.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We are a unique group of people, man, and I think in some ways we take that for granted. Like I said, this is escapism that's not saving anybody from anything.
Right.
You know, even to the point where like you have a black person get killed. You know they got killed because they're black, but you want somebody to actually have a class conversation about, oh, you know, it's a class struggle. If cops aren't dealing with people based on where they're coming from and their backgrounds and all that bullshit.
Right.
Yo, it's still black and white. And once we get away from it being that, it becomes a whole bunch of other shit, man.
Right. He was a good worker. He ain't had nothing to do with him being a good worker. He was a father. Do with him being a father.
How about the brother that shot the popo?
Now, that's testimony. That show you what side is really with the business. And I feel privileged.
You said that's gonna what?
It shows the side that's really going to contend and be with the business.
Oh yeah, I understood.
Huh?
Yo, that could become a big trial, man.
If you notice, that's the only group a lot of celebrities didn't really embrace. Huh?
What, NFAC?
No, they were with the Hebrew Israelites. They were
nobody was. Yeah.
RBG?
Nope, we leaving them niggas alone. They training.
Huh?
They opening. I know RBG's opening up gun clubs and shit.
Huh?
Yeah, nationally, man.
Huh?
It's true.
Did he turn himself
on building people up? Huh?
Did he turn himself in?
He got snitched on hiding in I guess a clubhouse or some shit.
Okay, but he had the. If anybody had the Underground Railroad to protect him, it would have been us, or that organization.
Oh well, he found someone that was gonna let him stay up in a space, and then I guess that person eventually told on him. I wasn't sure if that was agreed upon or not, but I know he got taken in safely, so I was assuming it was just like a literal surrender type of thing.
Right, because he didn't want it to affect.
He ain't have no. Yeah, he ain't no beat up bruises or nothing on him. You know how they were trying to get back out of cop, quote unquote cop killer.
Mm-hmm. And they're doing that because what they do, they're measuring the potential of that organization, whether or not they right.
They're measuring their capabilities, their logistics, all that. Now, Malik Zulu Shabazz is going to represent him personally.
And he's going to hand them over.
Huh?
He's going to hand them over.
Yep. He's like, oh, Black Lawyers for Defense. I will represent him personally.
And you know what he's
Made
gonna say?
this declaration.
Think about everybody else, brother.
Huh?
That's what he's gonna say. Think about everybody else, brother.
Yep. Oh, to the dude.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, when it comes down to pleading guilty.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Either that or we're gonna see a change in that law, that stand your ground law.
During the whole trial. During the process of his trial, they'll have an emergency fucking adjustment.
Mm-hmm. Does that apply to just citizens or only or people police susceptible to that law as well? Feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Stand your ground, right?
Yeah.
And if it is only pertinent to police, it's gonna show the bias and the racism. So it's gonna be very, very, very touchy. Very touchy. Because Florida don't mind whooping niggas, you feel me?
Nah,
That's
man. Shit. South Carolina just brought back the firing squad.
see what the fuck is really going on. Tell me, I gotta take my boys to the shooting range, man.
Yeah, man.
You know?
Yeah,
They ain't
Crackers brought the fucking firing squad back out here, man.
treason, huh?
Shit, what they gonna shoot you with muskets? What they got?
Now, brother Cause.
Yo.
Remember that video you sent me? I think it was you or brother Little about that speech that Pence had when he was saying that, you know, was he really saying that if Trump wanted to, he could push for the president administration? That they got that shit fraudulently?
Yeah, that's what they really was discussing. I didn't know they was still discussing that on Capitol Hill, but they was. That shit was real.
Because believe it or not, as much as I don't want to say this, but I will, there's a number, and based on what I see, a pretty big number of conservative and liberal. Well, I'm gonna say conservative because they're more active. Whites who not with this shit, who not with this gay shit.
Hell no. That's what
Hmm?
again, yo, they're gonna slowly chop that shit down, man. I think they're gonna make it manageable. Meaning like you see how it's out of control now? I think they're gonna make it tolerable. Meaning like they think they're gonna get away with getting certain provisions and things. But like homeboy Red Bull has said earlier, he said, "Yo, man, you're not a whole new race of people, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You can't pretend to be a race of people because of your personal choice and preference."
What?
We saw that happen with another group of people.
Ethnic group.
Yeah, ethnic group.
You see what I'm saying? That's probably why they had that meet that set up for Pence. Not because me and you demanded it, but because there's still a lot of pissed off crackers.
Mm-hmm.
Even that all white party that Trump had. I love that shit because they use terminology they were supposed to use for us. Insurrection. I didn't know whites could cause insurrection. Huh?
Right?
I learned something new, huh? They even had the general come out. I want to understand white aggression. What would make a group of individuals, right? First off, those are patriots. Depending on who write the history, some will say traitors, right? Some will call them patriots. They were invited, huh?
Well, you're right.
This technically y'all shit, right? Look what happened. He signed the biggest treaty in the Middle East, right? As soon as he got he lost power, that shit dissolved, right? I have Muslim brothers calling me up. For real, they calling me up. Do you know these Jews or these Yahudis are killing Palestinians during Ramadan? How dare they?
Oh man.
And said he just did a presentation where they deporting black Hebrew Israelites. Get out of here.
Oh yeah, Damona Israel, man. Yo, those are the most. When you talking about educated and smart and man, those are some very important black folks.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning they're an example of what going back was supposed to be. We just saying going back to Africa, even if we're talking about them going to Israel, but in a context of taking what they was from America and making something out of themselves there and becoming established and recognized. They politically were recognized as a as a part of the nation of Israel. So
the question is then asked, what was an Ethiopian? Because most of them are Ethiopian, right?
no, most of them are no. We're not talking about the Falasha. We're talking about the Hebrews that left from Chicago back in the 60s and 70s.
Oh, damn, brother Cause, I forgot about that.
We're talking about these niggas is vegetarians and read Hebrew better than the fucking Israelis and go to their schools and fight in their military and everything.
Wow.
Yeah, they were fighting the Israeli army and stuff to get citizenship and certain preference and privilege in there. They've been doing it since then, so they've had a couple of generations born in Israel, basically.
Now I heard a Palestinian brother tell me. He said when they bring over those black Hebrew Israelites and put them in the military, they use them to fight Palestinians, and when they get captured, they're not high ranking them, where they're not even given pertinent information. You see what I'm saying?
No, not at all. Because the Beta Israel or the military, that's not even so much in the militaristic aspect of the Hebrew Israelites, but they're observed also as a terrorist group too, based on their beliefs and convictions. So
The black Hebrews.
yeah,
Because they know they can be easily influenced to flip basically, huh?
yeah. If the information and knowledge people share, man, but that's all I know is that they've worked on the continent, not just in Israel, but through being in Israel, they've worked on the continent, other parts of the world, assisting with like natural ways of living and eating and all this type of shit. Solar energy, water systems, a lot of things. You figure if you basically they're getting the education of the you're getting an Israeli education.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're going to the universities and shit. You're getting an efficient learning experience. But it's black because you're going back to your own intact community there.
Right.
So you have some autonomy, but you don't because you're in fucking Israel, nigga. Like out of all places, just to prove what?
They don't even consider Palestine a country anymore. You can't even find it on the map.
Nah, they you know what's crazy about that? They watch the land grab happen and call it anything other than that.
Yep.
You know, it actually shows. It shows if you was gonna treat if you're gonna treat the Israeli army like the European dealing with the whole world, then the parasite would just be eating away at the land until there was no more left.
Yep.
Meaning no more Palestinians left. We're witnessing the genocide of a whole people in our generation, in our lives.
Yep.
And what's crazy is it could potentially end up as a Native American situation where there's not even enough Palestinians to have a flag for them. That type of shit.
Yep. They killing babies. Now, brother, cause
Yo,
remember, brother, we are the Native Americans. You gotta remember that.
I almost forgot. Almost forgot.
And even if we are, some of our Aboriginal brothers, it don't change nothing. We still got the same fight.
Yeah, yo, you know what's crazy about the Aboriginal conversation is like their Aboriginal dialogue is in the context of new people, not old people.
Right.
So it's like, oh, we're Aboriginal like the Mexicans and the fucking Native Americans. We're not Aboriginal like pre-fucking Native American to these niggas and shit. You know, we couldn't be the ones that taught them how to do what they did.
Right.
We're not that much Aboriginal. You know what I'm saying? That's my only issue with that. With that argument is like,
Right.
it still doesn't define you. It's just another fucking word to substitute being a nigga.
Yep.
Again, which we need to learn to be comfortable with being. Like,
Right.
it's just what the fuck, you know? Niggas is manufactured, self-evident. I'm a nigga. That type of shit.
Yep. Because in 2021, whether you want to say you're Aboriginal and you survived the Holocaust of the followers of Christopher Columbus, or you say you Pan-African, that Middle Passage changed us over here. Something.
Yeah.
We are the international poster children, right? Whatever we do, all Aboriginal people seem to follow suit, right? My kids listen to drill music, banging on wax, Chief Keef Chicago. Man, now that shit is all in Australia, London. We still dictate culture without using force. That's how you know we the ones. We ain't forcing motherfucking Asians to call themselves nigga.
Nope.
God don't have to do that, right?
Nope.
But like you said earlier, cause all that is just to ban with the fact that they don't want to be called niggas. They bang more. The Aboriginals bang more on Africans than they do on the ones who took over their damn country. If we using they
You're right. Yo, that's what I'm saying, man. Shit don't make no sense. It's escapism. The escapism.
they say, well, that shit. Pan Africanism was created in the Caribbean islands, right? Okay, but didn't y'all say that the Caribbeans are part of the indigenous? That's why they were so
Yeah, right.
successful. That's why they were successful with their revolt, because they still had they had that island to use, right? We were landlocked, right?
True.
Oh, brother, we are not African. Uh-uh. And then they fail to realize that regardless if you're African or not, any foreigner in America harbors all traitors.
Oh,
All traitors.
yeah, yeah.
Patriotic.
They don't understand. They don't understand that we're all niggers in the eyes of white supremacy.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Other people don't see it like that though. When they confronted like a Spanish person that has to deal with the white folks, they be like, "Yo, man, it's not about color, man. They're getting us too." No, they're getting you because you tan, motherfucker.
Yep.
It's about color. Because they identify you based on your color. So what the fuck?
Yep.
If you was white, you go undetected.
And see, I love talking to Aboriginal brothers because I'm in California. And California has the largest numbers of native tribes in America. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
You get a chance, just type in Native American tribes in California and look at what they posted. You hear me? You don't hear them brothers talk about cultural resource management? Federally recognized tribes, right?
No, right.
Where the white man, okay, well, we'll recognize some tribes, but not others, right? To cause a rift between tribes, right? You don't hear about that.
No, you don't.
Remember Geronimo? We was talking about this a while back.
Oh yeah, they got a skull. Yale had a skull.
who had that dream that he was going to be taken on a iron horse, which was the train. He didn't know that, right?
Yep.
You know who his first enemies were?
Cool.
And his nickname? The Mexican Killer. Think about that. Huh?
That says a lot. That says that there were two different people.
They thought they taught us that they all died off, right? And the remnants were Mexicans. No. There was still some natives here. Mexico means mestizo, land of mixed people. What the fuck?
It's that land of mixed people.
I'm 200 miles off of Mexico, right? If we were that close to Africa, we took this bitch over. Feel me? So their domestic issues, internal issues, lies with their alliance with Spain. All Spanish countries have corruption. Why? Because the Spanish didn't build Spain up. The Moors did. They betrayed us, right? Went into the slave trade. And if you notice, there's always a high level of corruption, not within just Spanish countries, but all Catholic countries. Mob, right?
Yep.
The Irish mob, the Mexican mob, Italian mob, right? Corruption, right? Cortez is the reason. If you was too tall, you was killed. Feel me? Too dark. He created the stock of Mexicans that we see now. Feel me?
Yep.
And the same then as now. They suffer more than we do because they think they can pass as being white. They really do. They think if they get their hair right, if I get my hairstyle like white folks, right?
Imagine they say Rachel Doe. Yo, they said Rachel Dolezal. She tans and still cornrows her hair, man.
Feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine being almost white.
Painting yourself black.
And can't pass because your last name is Gonzalez. Feel me? Hitler said the Jews was worse than the Negroes because they could play both sides, right?
Yep.
At least we are what we are. We can't, right?
Can't do nothing about it.
So yeah, we get front row tickets, bro.
Yo, man, I'm glad we did the show tonight, Nick Rod.
Me too, bro. We gotta keep this going, man.
Yeah, I wanted to do something this weekend, probably related to the 4th, maybe even on the 4th. I don't know.
Okay, this keep me in the loop. You know, I'm gonna
Yeah,
show
because
up.
we got the great contradiction going on. 2 weeks ago we celebrated Juneteenth. Then 3 weeks later we celebrated 4th of July. Do we want to be crackers or niggas? Which one? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be both. You can't be both. You can't celebrate. You can't celebrate your oppression and then celebrate your supposed freedom at the same time.
It's not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen. So like, black folks don't realize we can't be functionally bipolar in this shit when it comes to it. It ain't gonna help. It's not gonna help us
At all. And a lot of us are.
Yeah, man. Yeah, functionally bipolar. What do you say? Stockholm syndrome. We got that combination going on.
Dark-skinned white girls and dark-skinned white boys.
Yeah, man. But nah, it was good doing this. We gotta do this shit again. We were supposed to do some news, but we did some news. We did a little assortment.
We jumped on a few
man.
topics.
I'm glad we touched. Yeah, I'm glad we touched on Cosby. Though that was the most pertinent thing, man.
Mm-hmm. That part. What is it, about 1 o'clock where you at?
Oh yeah, it's about 1:30 almost.
Okay. Well, shit, let's do this again, bro.
All right, signing off. Feet on the Ground Radio.
BB48.
Black Power, peace.
Back in the trunk.